Abraham, Abraham, the father of the Jewish nation, the first hero, well, the second hero in the Bible. The first hero was Noah in the book of Genesis, and then a few chapters later we get Abraham. And Abraham he's a pagan. He doesn't know the Lord, but God calls him to leave his hometown and by faith go on this journey to a promised land that he will give him. Oh, that's so cool. Just every walk with God just starts out with an invitation. Starts with a invitation to journey on this awesome adventure that Jesus walks us through, called life, until we get to heaven. It's really awesome. But Abraham reached a really really well cool, but he reached a critical point in his life where he was like 100 years old, and God came to him, and God spoke a word to him saying, Abraham, I will surely bless you. You will be the father of many nations. What the frick? What? Can you imagine? I'm just imagining how Abraham must have felt when God said that. Abraham's 100-year-old dude, and Sarah is like 90. They don't even have a child. Like, what? But, that's sometimes how it is. Like, God will speak something to us where it's like, it makes no sense. Like, it does, like, God says um, he's gonna bless you in some way, or maybe he says he's gonna financially bless you, but the circumstances say you're in debt. God says he's gonna restore your relationship with a friend or a significant other. Circumstances say you guys are done. You guys are broken. There's a huge veil of division and disunity between you guys. It's not gonna happen. There's just so many examples, but Abraham's like, God, how is this gonna happen? How on earth is this possible? But God's like, there's surely I will bless you with a son. And I mean, okay. Abraham's as good as dead, and Sarah doesn't really have the female baby making stuff anymore, so it's one of those situations where faith doesn't really make much sense, but yet faith is powerful, and faith brings a promise to pass. And a few chapters later, God comes to visit Sarah, and he says, surely I will come and give you a baby, a son, 1 year from now, this time in 1 year, and you shall name him Isaac. And Sarah kind of laughs to herself. She's like, God, you really said that this is going to happen? Have you seen how old I am? Have you seen what the circumstances look like? But God says, is there anything too hard for the Lord? I will surely do what I've said. And guess what happened? A year later, God came just as he said. Sarah had a baby. Wow, look at that. An impossible situation turned possible. God had put a dream in Abraham and Sarah's heart. He put a dream in them that they were going to have a son. And Sarah was pregnant. And I think in a spiritual sense, she was pregnant with faith, pregnant with hope. She was pregnant with a dream, a word from God. And a lot of us are, in a matter of speaking, pregnant. God has given me a dream. He's given me a word that he's going to turn something around in my life that has looked absolutely insurmountable. And perhaps he's speaking to you. You're going to break an addiction. You're going to break a bad habit. You're going to meet the right person. Your relationship's going to get restored. Whatever it is, a family member's going to get saved. He's given you a dream that you hold tightly in here. You hold it until it gives birth, until it comes to pass. Romans 4, one of my favorite chapters of all time. Romans 4, chapters 17 to 21 says, it starts out by talking about God. God brings the dead to life and speaks things that are not as if they were. And then it goes on to say, human reason for hope being gone. Abraham hoped on in faith because he dared to believe that what God said about him being the father of many nations would come to pass. He wavered not when he faced the fact that his body was as good as dead. See, sometimes we don't just ignore the circumstances around us. We gotta take a good look at that circumstance and say, you might look one way, you might make me feel like there is no way, but what God says is bigger than you. And then verses 20 to 21, he did not waver in unbelief, but he gave glory to God by praising him, and he grew strong in his faith, being fully persuaded, or another translation says, he was absolutely convinced that what God said, God was also able to perform and bring to pass. Now I just sense that some people watching, including myself even, there's a dream that God's given us. You know, God's put a dream in my heart that something was going to happen in my life, that something will happen. And it's been so hard to believe. I've been waiting and believing and expecting for 7 months now. You see, I'm pregnant with a dream. You're pregnant with a dream. But I just want to encourage you, just like me, if you refuse to give up, if you refuse to let other people talk you out of it, if you dare to believe that God can do anything that he says, then you will see the glory of God. I just want you to know that. And I'm here for you. God's here for you. We're all here for each other. And also, if people do try and talk you out of it, don't let them. Psalm 73 says, promotion doesn't come from the east or from the west, it comes from God. So God gives you the favor, God exalts you at the proper time, and people can't tell you that it's not going to happen. People can't take that blessing away from you. God will bless you at the right time. He will bring it to pass. God bless.